Guess we'll learn.
Okay, so this video is called How to Break a Board with Your Bare Hands. This is the Ultimate Martial Arts board, re-breakable board. It's supposed to represent a 1.25-inch board. It doesn't really wear down the tension, so even if you keep breaking it over and over, it still stays strong. So this board is not that easy to break, but at the same time it's not that difficult. So it's a good challenge, and you'll see some people will be able to break it, some people won't, and that's going to show you like the quality of this board. I'm going to show you like my feedback and how to break this board. There's always an easy way to do it, and then there's a hard way to do it. I'm going to show you the easy way to do it first. You want to hit with your palm, so like right here. This is where you're strong. Your fingers are not strong, so don't hit the board like this, okay? You got to hit with the palm. Another thing, the person that's holding the board is very important how they hold it. If he doesn't hold it properly, it could you won't be able to break the board as easily. So I want him to hold like a what we call here like an arrow stance, like this. So not to stand like this, because if you stood like this and the person hits, he's just going to go back in his heels, and more than likely the board will not break. And it's not the striker's fault, it's the person that's holding the board. He's not holding it right. So the person that's holding the board, if he's not holding it right, he can make the striker look bad. So he needs to hold it right by getting down in a good arrow stance, and either locking out his elbows like this and holding it strong, or holding it, bending his elbows like this and holding it strong. Okay? So this is how he's going to have to hold it, and you're going to use this palm right here. Notice if I hit against the wall, like that's where I'm strong. I'm hitting the palm, I'm not using my fingers. If I try to hit hard with my fingers, you see the difference. My fingers are not that strong. But if I use my palm, that's where all that power is. Okay? So the palm is where you're strong. Like you're just naturally strong. You don't even need to train to be strong in the palm. You're just going to be strong there. So that's what you're going to use to break it. Okay? Another thing that's important is how you stand. Like if you're using your right hand, do not stand with your right leg forward, because then you're not going to have that much power. The power comes from the rear. So if you're going to break with your right hand, put your right leg back. Okay? Don't put it in the front. Put it in the back. So in boxing, they call this a cross punch. This is a very powerful punch, so you're going to be coming from the back. Another thing is, you want to kind of open up your hips just a little bit. Don't stand like linear like this. If you stand linear like this, there's no way that your hips are going to be able to shift your body weight forward. So don't stand linear, but then don't completely square up either. If you completely square up, then you're not going to allow your hips to get into the motion. So you have to stand like in a bladed stance like this, and then you come from the rear, and then you turn your hips, and you put your body weight into it. You use your palm. Another thing is when you strike, don't just stop where the board is. So like imagine this line right here. Don't just stop where the line is. No matter how hard I hit, if I just stop at the line, it's not going to hit it as hard than if I go past line. So rather than aim for this line, aim for like the middle right here. So pretty much you're going to strike and you're going to follow through all the way to there. So meaning you're aiming for his chest, essentially. Don't just aim at the surface where the board is. Don't just stop like that. Go all the way through. So you see you're going to his chest. So don't go like this, go like that, okay? The only difference is the board is in the way, and then that's going to break as I go for his chest. So you need to remember to follow through the footwork. Make sure that you're putting your hips into it. Don't just go like this. You need to put your hips into it, and don't stand linear. Don't square up too much. Be like midway in between. Throw it, put your whole body weight into it. Use your palm. Another thing is you have to hit directly in the center. No matter how hard you hit, if you hit the wrong spot, it's not going to break. You can hit it as hard as you want, but you hit right here, it's not going to break. So this thing is really good for precision. You got to like focus and concentrate and hit directly to the center, and then it'll break. Okay? So those are some things to keep in mind. Another thing is breathe out. Like when you exert a lot of energy, you're going to breathe out. So if you feel like screaming, go ahead and scream. Or just let out some energy. So if I didn't break the board, I'd be like, so that energy is going to help you get all that energy out. So you got to breathe in, like breathe in, and then exert all that energy out. Like, okay, so it requires focus. It's not just like hitting a focus mitt. You know, we got a focus mitt over here, and you know, we hit this focus mitt, you know, he holds the focus mitt, no matter if I hit it like, you know, no matter if I hit it light or hit it hard, it doesn't matter. I don't need to really, it's not a big deal. If I hit here, like people say, oh, he's just hitting a focus mitt. Like, that's not challenging, like how hard you're hitting it and the focus. So you can't just be like, oh, you know, let me just break the board like that. It's not gonna break. You know, if I just go nonchalant, let me just break the board. I mean, it's not gonna break. I mean, you have to focus. You gotta focus your attention and just breathe in. And then you gotta strike as hard as you can. Another thing is the person has to hold it correctly as well. So all these things come into factors in order to break this board. And like I said, if this becomes easy, then you can make it harder by making a closed fist. Now you might be strong enough to break the board, but your fist might not be strong enough to sustain the impact. So that pain is going to stop you from breaking the board because you're in fear that this is going to be painful. So if you can break like that, the next step is, okay, try to break with a fist. Okay, so you could do that, then the next step is, okay, see if you can break it with a fist with the right leg forward. Then it'll make it even harder than if you put it back here. Now if you can break with the right leg forward, okay, then see if you, instead of cocking it all the way back here, see if you can break it from here. If you can break it from there, okay, then see if you can break it from here. So you can always challenge yourself to try to get better at it. Another thing is, cock your hand all the way back. Like if you're standing like this and you try to break it from here, you're not going to be that successful because you're basically cutting off the distance of how far that this hand has to travel to break it, and it's going to be harder. So imagine if I try to break it like that. It's going to be a lot harder to break it because I only got like a few inches to break it. But the more that I draw it back, the easier it'll be because there's going to be velocity and speed coming towards that board to break it. So make sure that you cock the hand back, cock it back, and just hit all the way through and breathe out. Okay? So if you don't break it on the first try, he's going to have to slam that board against the ground again because this thing will start to split open as you start to hit it, and then it'll get easier. So it's not, breaking it on the third try is not the same as breaking it on the first try. So I see a little slit right there, so while he slammed to the ground. And then, okay, so I'll demonstrate how to break it, and then after that, you're going to try to break it with your right hand. And then after that, you try to break it with your left hand. If it breaks, then great. If it doesn't break, then that's fine. The next person comes, and then just rotate to see, you know, challenge yourself. And try to break it on the first try. So take that time to really gather your energy. So let me just do it real quick. And the pressure's on because the camera's on, and I'm making this video all over again. Right? So, and imagine if I can't break it. Right? So, but I'm just saying, there's pressure here, but just right here, with your palm, come here, breathe in, and hit through. Okay, that's the right side, and then hit with the left side. Take your time. Okay? So, Shazé will remain holding it.
Okay, I think my hands are sweating.
And then you guys just take turns. It's going to take practice, you know, to get better at it. And another thing is, the less you weigh, the harder it'll be. You know, if I had my son, baby Ken, in here trying to break that board, he's not going to be able to break it because he doesn't have enough weight behind his punch. The bigger that you are, the easier it'll be. So, if you weigh less, you know, don't be discouraged if you don't break it because it's gonna be like, it might be like, for you compared to somebody that's over 200 pounds, it might be like a 200-pound person breaking 2 of these boards because you weigh 130 pounds and then you can't break it. The person weighs 220 pounds and he can break it. Well, he weighs 220 pounds. Try to see if he can break 3 of them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, don't get discouraged if you can't break it. Just, you know, just keep trying and work on the technique. Alright, so let's go. Try to break it on the first try. If you need to adjust the height, then go ahead and do it. Slide them back together. Slam it back down together. You'll try out in the second round. Now do the left side. Everybody will have a chance to do it again after the first round. Slam it in the ground. Alright, next. Good. You see how he's like almost like running into it? Some of the kids that do it, they like almost run into it. That shows that they're putting their weight into it. So I mean that's a good thing. Slam it on the ground. Next. You might be able to break it on your right side, and then you might not be able to break it on your left. It just shows you need to work in your left hand. Okay, slam the ground. Our feedback on that is that she's taller, so I think she might have been better if she adjusted it higher. And another thing is that I forgot to mention, you need to be more grounded on your footwork. If you're too high up, like on your tippy toes, you're not going to have any power. Like you need to have like more groundedness, like a horse stance, and then push into arrow stance as you strike. So it's like here, and then to here, because that's where your power is. So keep that in mind too. Do the other side.
Is that a good height, do you think?
A good height?
The height, yeah. Is that a good height or
It's more
high?
about what you feel comfortable, but make sure that you're hitting with the palm. That's a good height. Nice.
That's good.
Chị Quan kể. Go, chị Quan kể.
That came through. Nice.
Go, chị Quan kể. She hit me.
Next time,
Yeah, like I
first.
said,
First sound.
we usually will have a dominant hand. We all do. So it's going to be a challenge. That's your next challenge is, okay, I can break it with my right pretty easily. Can I break it with my left? Even with me, with that blackboard, I can't break it that easily with my left. Even with this one, you see my finger, my fist is bleeding a little bit. Even with the blue board, to break it with my fist, it's a challenge. So that's something that's reality. Sometimes, you know, you're going to have one side that's strong and the other side not that strong. You got to work on that other side too. That's why I want you guys to do both sides. Okay. Next person. Slam it. Slam. Anyone want to go round two?
Really hard.
Slam.
Yeah, there's almost there.
Do the other side.
I didn't aim correctly.
Other hand.
Other side.
Yeah, do the other hand.
And I think you're a little short. I think you need to aim further through.
Not too fast.
Okay, you want to hold it? Yeah.
It's a good
Steve, I'm going to hold it now.
Okay.
Okay, lại na.
Are
Is
you
anybody
ready?
else going around too?
I haven't gone on two, but you
He hasn't done that yet.
for the second.
Flat.
Yeah.
Other side.
Too long.
A little higher, yeah.
That's a lot of power though.
Yeah. Got my left hand, what about my right? I'm right-handed.
You were right. huh?
Yeah.
You see how he broke it? He made it more difficult actually. Because if you watch them, he broke it from like here. Like he didn't even cock all the way back. So I mean that's good, I mean, the better that you get at it, if you can break it from a shorter distance, then that shows like even better technique. So it's good.
Makes sense.
Good.
Nice.
Good. But other things to also remember, out of the whole group, he probably does weigh the most. So it's gonna be easier for him, you know? So like I said, don't be discouraged if you can't break it, because pound for pound, you know, if you weigh less, this is gonna be hard, very hard to break. You know, there's another board, they're a different color. This black one, this is the hardest board that they have. It's pretty much like breaking two of these blue ones, and this is really, really hard to break. So, like somebody, basically, it's almost like if somebody's 200 pounds, he should break this one, not that one. You know what I'm saying? Because say he weighs 200 pounds, he should be able to break this board. Somebody weighs like 130, he should be able to break that board, right? Even Zach, like, he's not here today, but he's like so big and tall, it's really hard for him to break this.
He
Like he has to do it over and over and over again, you know, so it's serious. So, like I said, don't be discouraged even if you can't break it, right? Like say for me, like okay, I could break it, no problem, right? But if I want to try to make myself like a challenge, more than likely I won't be able to break it like this. So just because I can't break it like this, it doesn't mean that like I suck. It just means like, hey, you know, I'm challenging myself with something more difficult to see if I can get better. So I'll show you guys, like I probably won't be able to break it here, and then, you know, it's not a big deal. Just because you can't break it, it's not a big deal, you know. Right? So it did split open a little bit. That's the first time I tried it. But this will require an immense amount of practice if you want to try to break it from a shorter distance. You try again. Yeah, so I can't do that. So that sounds like safe Chazé is getting too easy for him. If he wanted to, he can make a fist. If he wanted to shorten up the distance, he could do that too. So say another thing is, instead of breaking it from here, I switch up my stance and I'll break it from here. Let's see if I can break it from here with my fist. Right there, so I'll be able to break it like that. Okay, so the next thing I'll do is maybe, okay, you know, okay, I can break it from here. Let me see if I can break it from here. And then if I can break it from here, I can get closer and closer and closer. And the fist does hurt sometimes, right? Anybody want to go again? Go ahead.
All the way through.
Yeah, all the way through.
Hey!
Nice. Left side. Good, very good.
That's what I'm talking about.
Very good.
Aiming is very important.
Yes,
That's what I had it
aiming is
wrong.
very important.
Next time.
Okay. So remember, no matter how good you are, everybody has a challenge. You know, like Annette, 15 pounds might be a challenge for her to do on the bicep curls. Another guy, oh, you know, that she's weak. Okay, then why don't you curl 60 pounds? You know, and then he starts struggling. You know, it's like everybody has their own challenges. So, like, that's why there's these different boards, and then that's why there's different striking techniques. So, like I said, just because you can't break it doesn't mean that you're not good. It just means you just practice more. And just like for me, okay, I can break it, but can I do it this way? Okay, I can't do it that way. So I need to challenge myself to get better at that. You know, and right now, it just shows right now, this video was not edited. She couldn't break it, and then now she could. Why? Because she got her technique better, and that happened just like that. She aimed better, she put more focus, she put her weight into it, and then now the board broke. You see? Anybody else want to try it? Again? Or are we good? James?
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Alright, that's good. That's it.